And really when it comes to TDKs, very interesting because we've always linked you to cassette tapes, but now your branding is being in everything, in electronics parts, but also making things better. Tell us a little bit about that tagline and how that really reflects what you do.
Yeah, actually, as a part of our long-term vision, TDK transformation, that we have also made kind of transformation from branding, right? And we already stopped manufacturing tapes more than 10 years ago, but instead of that, we are becoming completely B2B company, being inside, right? And we are committed, to being inside and be better forever. Best will never come.
Because the thing is that customers don't necessarily see it from the outside, but you have all of these sensors, microphones, power storage, and of course, these AI smart glasses now that you're partnering with. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Thank you for pointing out this one.
I know, I saw that in your pocket. I have to ask you.
Actually, this year's CES, that our theme is an AI ecosystem, AI ecosystem. And the message we are delivering is that TDK is an AI enabler, and TDK is committed to shape AI from within.
Because that's interesting. You're not necessarily manufacturing the smart glasses.
No. But being inside means in everything. Right? And today we actually made a press release called EyeSight, AI Sight. This is the kind of core solution for next generation of smart glass, and also human-centric device that, eye intent, right?
Right.
Yeah. Plus our cutting-edge sensor technology, component technology, we are able to provide such kind of the, solution to this application.
And the technology coming from Soft Eye, which you acquired last year.
Exactly.
Do you have any more plans for M&As this year?
At this moment, no concrete plan. We are now making uniting that the software resources like custom chip and also like a camera and AI software together with other components, sensors, etc., making as a kind of a solution towards this smart glass.
High density energy is very important, and being able to fit everything in a very tiny little equipment, right? Which is what you do, especially with your anode, silicon anode battery technology.
Right.
You're on your 4th generation right now. When can we expect those? And you're working on your 5th generation as well.
Right, exactly. Actually, middle of last year, we released generation 3, which have a kind of 50% higher energy density compared to the Gen 0, right? But as you said, this year, middle of next fiscal term, in TDK, we are planning to release Gen 4. And of course, next generation, we are in R&D, research and development stage.
What will 5th generation look like? What are the tweaks and changes?
Yeah, actually, 4th generation, of course, higher energy density, and 5th, of course, higher. As I've been telling you, better and better and better. That's what I can tell you now.
We have seen, of course, the challenges broadly in the tech industry as well, the hiking prices. I was speaking to Samsung's president and CMO recently, and he was talking about how they're raising prices as we speak because of the shortages of memory chips. Now, that doesn't necessarily hit you directly, but at the same time, what's your demand outlook from your customers?
Yeah, I'm actually aware of this kind of information. And, toward the next fiscal term, means this year, April, we keep carefully investigating, checking the actual demand. But what I want to emphasize is that, we control the controllable. Means, as I told you, that the higher energy density, high-end kind of batteries, we keep promoting. That's what we can do, right? Regardless of the, that kind of demand, fluctuation.
Uncontrollable also, the strength of the Japanese yen. How does 1 yen change affect your business?
Yeah, actually 1 yen per dollar is going to make a change like $2 billion in terms of operating profit. So, yeah. Also, although it's uncontrollable, we carefully keep monitoring and watching.
Cheaper Japanese yen helps you?
In general.
In general.
Yeah.
Especially because you operate in so many different markets, China being your biggest one.
Yes.
Which one are your bright spots for 2026?
Actually, I want to see on broader basis. Of course, China remains one of the most important, region or area. But of course, here, U.S. or Europe, I want to see that, the market potential on global basis as an AI enabler toward the future.
As the optimist that you are, you always use very positive words like dynamic when you describe the U.S. market.
Yeah.
What do you expect to see this year in 2026, especially for your business here in America?
I have to repeat, it's going to be dynamic. I try to always say, positively, right? And, external circumstances, remains dynamic. But as I told you, this AI ecosystem, right, is going to grow.
Regardless of any of the challenges, including tariffs, for example.
I believe so. Depending on, how much, growth, this ecosystem is going to make. But this degree itself, direction itself, I think will be, unchanged.